All right, we are rolling. We're going. Welcome to Cult Fiction. Today we are talking about the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. We're also going to do a trailer after. We're going to do a trailer reaction after we do the Beverly Hills Cop movie for the new Dune Prophecy trailer that just dropped recently. So let's get straight into Beverly Hills Cop. I want to go to Eric first because I feel like Eric is going to be the biggest Beverly Hills Cop fan. Second, maybe to me. So let's go with Eric first. What do you say?
I really liked it. I thought it was saying yesterday on Discord. I felt like it fit in really good with the first and second one. I felt like it fit in better with the first and second one, maybe even better than the third one fit in with the first and second one.
Right.
Right. You guys have watched the first and second one recently, but kicked out on the third one because you're pussies. I watched it.
Third one was pretty bad. They've referenced the third one in this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Wasn't his best work. That was a nice little gig.
It was a nice one. But
overall,
what do you say?
Totally good. I liked it. I don't know what it is about some of these streaming services, whether it was like Roadhouse or this one, but they're knocking it out with some of these, like rejuvenating these 80s IPs, man.
Serious.
Certainly better than some of the stuff that's like going into theaters, that is, it seems like.
Yeah, you think the studios would be doing a better job like capitalizing on their own IPs, right? But these streaming services so far, it seems like they're doing a really, really good job.
Yeah.
Alex, what was your take on the new Beverly Hills Cop addition to the franchise?
I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, if there's a criticism of it, it plays it a little too safe. You know, it hits all the same beats that the first two movies did. It doesn't change the formula at all, and that's kind of refreshing in a way, because you go in there, you know what you're going to get. You know, you're going to get Eddie Murphy being Axel Foley. You know.
Yeah, they didn't kill Axel Foley and replace him with a woman like immediately, right? They just introduced introduced a new female character, but they didn't kill off the main character and turn him into a woman.
Right. And I remember after I watched it, it was like it could have happened in like 1992 and been Beverly Hills Cop 3. You know, and you didn't have to change anything. They're obviously older, but you didn't have to change a single thing in the movie, and you could say it came out in 1992, and other than their age, it would fit.
He looks good, though. He looks good.
I don't care what anybody says. I was so glad to see Judge Reinhold. I don't know why, but I've always liked Judge Reinhold, and I can't tell you why he hasn't done anything like particularly great, you know. But I always enjoy seeing him in a movie. Don't know why. And then
he doesn't.
Bronson can show Balky by talking this.
Right.
Again.
Yeah.
So it's totally happy.
Judge Reinhold does not deserve the affection I have for him.
I know, right?
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. I don't know what. But
I love that movie.
I don't know what it is either.
I
he makes me think of good things, and he probably shouldn't because he looks like shit. But he's never had like a really great movie.
Well, all those guys are like 70, not Taggart.
Taggart is like Taggart is like a mummy at this point.
I thought Taggart was dead when he showed up in this movie. I was like, holy fuck, dude's still alive.
I was until the movie came out. I thought that actor was dead too.
Yeah, back in 1984.
Right.
You know, we're like, holy.
Yeah,
I think he was born in his 50s.
No, like true though. In the second Beverly Hills Cop, he was knocking on heaven's door for real. Like he looked hard, dude. He looked like that guy's had too much linguine.
And you know what I didn't know? I didn't even know Kevin Bacon was in.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Actually,
another guy that he shows up in something. Hey, Kevin Bacon, that's just good. That's always good. Kevin Bacon shows up.
You know what's interesting about Kevin Bacon? You know how you see certain guys play roles, and you're like, as soon as you see him on screen, you're like, that's the bad guy because he
100%.
Right.
Right? has anybody ever played a good guy as much as Kevin Bacon with bad guy face that Kevin Bacon has?
Bad guy.
Kevin Bacon,
he has bad guy face. He absolutely has bad guy face.
but he plays a lot of good guys. But he's got bad guy face. You know, and there's other dudes who are just, they got bad guy face and that's all they play is bad guys. And
I would say like Carl Urban. He was the good guy in Judge Dredd, but he was the bad guy in Red, right? So like he kind of, and he was good guy in Lord of the Rings, you know, mostly good guy. But yeah, he can do both. He can do both. But yeah, it's rare, and he always has bad guy face. He has that angry, like, you know, like there's an X on his face, right? He's just like, but he can do both. You're right, though. Most people they pick to do hero roles have like a really charismatic look, and they wouldn't fit as a bad guy. Like it would be hard to see, like Tom Cruise can do a bad guy, like he did in Collateral, right?
Oh, real good.
But like Will Smith, could you see Will Smith as a bad guy?
like not really.
No.
You know,
I can see Stanley Tucci as like a really, really bad guy.
He could be a good bad guy. He was kind of a bad guy in what was it? From Paris with Love. Is that what it was?
With Travolta?
I can see Stanley Tucci. Yeah, I can see him as a real bad person.
I could see him as such a bad guy.
You know who's one that I'm thinking of now that I'm thinking about it, who can kind of play the tweener like Kevin Bacon, where he can play bad guy as much as he plays good guy. And we're going to touch on him later because he's in the Dune trailer.
Hey, Mark Strong.
Mark Strong.
I didn't want to say that when we started talking about this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give away the Dune trailer, but 100%.
He was awesome as a bad guy in Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
So he plays a bad guy a lot, but he also does play a good guy a lot.
Right.
But he can definitely have bad guy face.
Yeah, dude.
You know, but
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon, if you just looked at Kevin Bacon and just like he has kind of that Skeletor nose and his brow line, and like he just kind of does look evil.
Right.
You want to
I
kick his
guess
ass.
as
If
he's
you were
gotten
on a
older,
jury
he's just perfect
and he's
for,
sitting
the
there.
bad bureaucrat type role.
Yeah.
You know, like the guy in the suit that's like behind everything, like, you know, controlling the
Yeah.
money and the people, the puppet master.
100%.
You know, he just
So
got a
yeah,
great face for that kind of role.
spoiler in case the listeners haven't figured it out yet, Kevin Bacon is in the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, and he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah,
So
if you don't realize he's the bad guy within like
you pretty much know that he's the bad guy right away.
Which, like,
It's like,
You pretty much know.
then you
Let's go
know
to
movies.
right.
then
Let's
you
go.
know-
What do you, Bueller? What was your take on the new Beverly Hills Cop? What do you think?
first off, when Kevin Bacon showed up, I think I said that's the bad guy before I said, oh, Kevin Bacon.
Right. So why are you
Yeah.
trying to say you don't know he's the bad guy? Come on.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
no, me and my girlfriend were watching it, and I was like, oh, well, that's who the bad guy is, Kevin Bacon. So I got some fun facts around this real quick, because you guys just kind of sparked my brain going. Judge Reinhold, did you guys know how he got his name Judge?
No.
Apparently, when he was like a baby, his parents thought that he had a really stern look like a judge. When he was just like a calm baby, he just had a judge look about him. So, there's Judge. He became Judge Reinhold.
It's kind of it's a cool first name. I wish my first name was Judge.
And then on the Kevin Bacon stuff, he had 2 movies come out the same day. He's also in Maxine.
Which
Now-
2 movies came out the same day?
Maxine came out the same day as Beverly Hills Cop 4
and
Yeah.
Maxine is like the third movie in that trilogy, right?
in the X trilogy. So just so you know,
Right,
Judge
right.
Reinhold, his first name is actually Edward. It's Edward Ernest Judge Reinhold.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he got the nickname Judge from his parents when he was a baby because he looked like a judge.
Are you looking at Wikipedia right now? Is that where you're
I
getting
looked it up last night. I had to refresh my memory because
Okay.
I was watching the movie. But Kevin Bacon's also in Maxine. I don't know if he's the bad guy. I haven't seen it. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but I guess he went out in his Maxine makeup and like tried to be a regular guy, and he kind of gave an interview about it,
Oh, I read that story.
like a real tongue-in-cheek interview. Like he's like, yeah, it sucked. I had to go wait in line for a fucking cup of coffee because nobody knew who I was. type stuff because he was in full costume for Maxine. So just Kevin Bacon being Kevin Bacon. Kind of funny stuff. And Eric, you brought up Roadhouse, and I watched it again because I was bored for like a week and a half. And my God, that movie sucks. It's so much fun to watch with a group of friends. Like, honest to God, dude, it was great to watch with you guys. I had a great time watching with you guys. Watching it by myself, that movie's fucking horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
I think watch it with other people who are looking to have a good time. It does
Right.
improve it.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
did watch.
You know what?
I watched it with the family, and it was, if it was a 10 with you guys, it was like a 7 with them because they didn't get all the references and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like watching comedy at a comedy club, right?
Yeah.
Like if you watch a stand-up routine at your house, you might giggle a time or two. But if you watch comedy at a comedy club and everybody's enjoying it, you're just like
Right.
that person's funnier because it's contagious. I do
Right.
think that movie did benefit from some of that. I think it's
I
Even like
get
watching
that.
stand-up just with your friends, like I'm watching it on TV
Right.
with like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
Much better than watching stand-up on your own.
Right. I'm going to enjoy a Bill Burr stand-up better if we're all watching it together than I am if I'm going to watch it alone. But there are certain things that are just like that. Like certain movies, I think are sort of confected to be conducive to a group. Like you can't play poker by yourself. You need a group of people to play poker, right? So it's the same with some movies, I think.
I tried to introduce my lady to Friday, and she didn't grow up in that era where Friday.
Right.
Like, I mean, she's not that much younger than me, but it's just the type of lifestyle she grew up in. Friday wasn't a movie that she watched.
She's not from the street like you.
Yeah, right. 'Cause we're all ghetto here. But we all got the humor of Friday. Like when we watched it, it was funny.
Totally.
She watched National Geographic growing up. She didn't watch that kind of stuff.
Right.
So showing her Friday, she's watching it and she's like, I don't understand any of this. And I'm laughing my ass off. And it slowly brought the movie down for me because it wasn't sharing the moment with other people. You know what I mean?
Right. You need people that can get those references to really fully enjoy the movie, right? Yeah, I get that. I get that.
And if it's not like a classic, like some of the lines are funny the first time you hear them, they're not gonna like stand the test of time. When the guy's like, "Oh, our own octagon," he's like, "Who taught you?" That's like the first. That's a great line. And
that's a great line. Friends, probably not as great the second time when you're by yourself.
Yeah, but
that was the only good thing about the movie when I was by myself.
Right.
Yeah. When you watch it the first time, you're like, okay, that's a good line. I didn't expect that. And then when you know it's coming now, it's kind of like, okay.
I want to get Gus in here on Beverly Hills Cop. We haven't heard from him yet. What's your take on the new flick, sir?
I got a bunch.
Okay.
And one's going to probably piss everybody off, but that's all right. So I absolutely loved it. It's everything that I thought it was going to be. And it's everything that I expected. And I was like pleasantly surprised by a few like really cool things that I noticed. Number one, good old fashioned 80s, 90s. You got cars as weapons, cars as entry devices. Everybody knows that's what I'm looking for. That's how I'm judging it. Straight up. Period. So one all the way around. I really dug it. Stuck to the format, stuck to the formula. They didn't try to reinvent anything. It was just good. Like Alex said, could have been in like 1992. No big deal, right? I think they played it a little bit safe. Like Eddie could have turned it on a little bit more, but that's all right because it's the times, right? A couple things that I thought were super cool was there were people of color throughout the flick, and there were women throughout the flick, and it never seemed weird. I never got like the SJW dick rubbed on my face. Right? I never got the SJW dick rubbed all over my face and told that I was a bad person and that I deserved like was lady cop, also known as female officers. There was like strong female leads. There were like women in hijabs. There was all the shamils and all of the shamams, and I never got the SJW dick print on my face. So one, all the way fucking around. We can have women, we can have people of color, we can have like, and it doesn't have to look like an orgy at the fucking UN. It's fine. Game on, babe.
I'm sure they're excited to have your permission.
Hey, whatever. They need to hear the truth. That's the problem. They need the truth.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, so I loved Paul Reiser. I want more Paul Reiser just in general. I knew I recognized Kevin Bacon. I thought he was from some Aaron Sorkin bullshit. And then I figured out he was Kevin Bacon later.
Okay.
Dude, he wasn't wearing a fucking mask, bro.
Dude,
Gus hasn't seen as many movies as we have seen. That's
Kevin
his charm.
Bacon.
There's
That's
been
Gus's
A
charm.
game called The 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
thinking, who is this guy? I should know. Was there a sex scandal? Was there a sex scandal? I should know this fucker. Why do I know him? Has he been on all those bullshit Aaron Sorkin propaganda flicks?
The 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Alex was like, dude, Kevin Bacon. And I was like, oh yeah, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Okay, now I know who this guy is. So there was that. I don't know
You
who
know
he
that guy
is.
who's been making movies since like 1982? He looks really familiar.
Right.
Who is he?
I recognize him from
Movies
Footloose.
1992.
82.
So,
Wasn't he in the original Animal House and the original Friday the 13th?
Was
Yeah,
he?
he
Was he in
was.
Friday the
Yeah,
13th?
no kidding.
What's in Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th.
Oh,
He was in
13th.
Tremors, goddammit.
Dude, he was in the first Tremors movie, and he was arguably
Tremors is one of my anytime,
Like,
anywhere,
yeah,
any place
yeah.
movies.
that was maybe the best character he ever played. By the way,
So
fighting the graboids.
really dug it. The one thing I'll say, and it's not about this movie in particular, because I loved every part of it, and I'm glad that they made it, right? But, and I dug seeing Judge Reinhold. It's good times. He looks like he's had it rough. He looks like he needs a complete blood transfusion.
He
And
probably
some
does. He
He
probably
did
does.
spa days. Eric?
How old?
I think that's him. You know, that's the saying, fridging. You know, none of the feminists are gonna complain about it.
Right.
But
He's 67.
when you take a character and then you write them off, and at the beginning of the movie, and they become the reason why the main character
Right.
goes on their.
He's
the
like
rest
the
of the
broke
time.
hero. He's like the hero that's broke. Like his car got repoed. Yeah.
Well, he's the reason. He's the reason for the quest. A lot of feminists say that like, they do that with female characters. They like in Deadpool 2, they got upset because they're like, oh, you fridged his girlfriend and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to say new. It's a new term from the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
For a very
Oh,
old plot device.
But
Right.
I,
If you've
how
ever
come-
watched any kung fu movie in the history of mankind, it's you killed my master,
Right.
which
Now-
is the ultimate fridging.
Right.
And now I'm gonna kill for killing my master. It's just, I guess, when it happens to women, it's unforgivable. I guess.
Yeah. Barb never got any justice. Justice for Barb.
Yeah, Barb got fridged.
Barb got no
Yeah.
justice for Barb.
So let me
You know, William went missing, and there was a all points bulletin, and then Barb goes missing, and nobody gives a shit.
I will say one thing. I want to drop one last.
No, because even if you think about like the fact that she didn't get justice, you're like, okay, she didn't get justice. You could explain that away. Explain that part where like no one gave a shit. No one was like sticking like pamphlets on window, like, you know, on telephone poles and stuff. We're like, let's find Barb. No,
Barb's
that-
family didn't even care.
dude, it was like 50-mile radius. Everybody knows. Like, oh, the chunky chick with glasses gone missing, and they're like, who's
Right.
that?
This is a Stranger Things reference, by the way, for
Right.
people
Yeah,
who
yeah.
are not looking up
No,
Barb from
the-
Stranger
the one-
Things. There weren't a lot of people that cared about Barb because she was heavy. Apparently, that is the consensus of the five. Here
I'm throwing
today.
that in there. If she was hot, they would have cared.
All right.
On that
I
note,
mean, I
though,
would have cared. I didn't care either. So I'm one of the people. I'm one of the people. That's how I know. right? So
What was that, Joe?
So on that note, since I talked about everything except for Beverly Hills Cop, I'm with everybody. I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it fit in really nice. Like it was a Beverly Hills Cop movie. You know, it had everything that you wanted in a Beverly Hills Cop movie, and it was super enjoyable. I don't want to complain about it because it was 2 hours long, and it was a good 2 hour long movie. But I just felt like there were so many characters and we didn't get any time or enough time with all these awesome characters. You know, like Judge Reinhold, like Surge. You know, Surge shows up and then there's Sergey and he's gone. You know, I thought it was really cool that we got and now I completely forget his damn name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt got to yell at Axel Foley. Like that must have been a highlight of his career. So many great characters in a 2 hour movie, and it still felt like we didn't get enough time with all of them. And on that note, with what Gus was saying and what Eric was saying, like Judge Reinhold's character is the whole reason for this whole movie unfolding.
Right.
And it seems like nobody gives a shit that he's missing the whole time the movie's going on. He's like an afterthought. The daughter just wants to go back and do her law practice. The captain, who was his best friend, is like, whatever. It even seems like Axel Foley forgets about him for a period of time during the movie. And it's like, oh yeah, we still have to go save. But I'm not complaining about it. I just thought it was hilarious. I was like,
we got to go save Roseweed.
Yeah, seriously.
So
no, great movie.
okay, let me give you my rundown on it. I thought it was I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. I thought they started it right. They had the whole, you know, like Axel driving through Detroit, everybody knew him. But I feel like that first scene where he goes to the Red Wings hockey rink and he's there with the cop that you've never seen before and all that kind of stuff. I feel like they put that scene together like after the fact because they wanted to start with an action scene. Because I don't know who that cop was that he was like helping and you never see him again and I don't care about him. Like I want to get to the characters that I know about, right? So I feel like that scene was kind of clunky and cheesy and it didn't really fit in with the rest of the movie. But getting through that first scene, I thought it was really good. Like it had the same rhythm as the first Beverly Hills Cop. The use of music I thought was really good. They kind of redid the Axel Foley theme, you know, in like a modern way, and I thought that was really, really cool. One thing I have to say that I was really disappointed about was that Ronnie Cox was not in the movie, the guy who plays Bogomil. I didn't see that guy in the movie. I don't think he's passed away. It might be a situation. I don't think that he is, but and it may
really.
It may be that he's just, you know, he wasn't able to do the movie, but I think they should have really tried to get him at least as a cameo, something. He's retired, he could be on a golf course somewhere.
He's legitimately 92 years old.
Right, yeah,
he's alive.
He's 85 years old.
So I was disappointed not at least to just see him, right? I wanted to just see him. I wanted to get his approval for watching the movie. Also,
maybe he retired or something.
I'm sure he has. Also, there was some pretty like legit violence in this movie. There was people getting shot in the head with like blood clouds coming out. I was pretty surprised. Like they killed some bad guys in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I liked it. I liked his daughter. I liked his relationship with his daughter. I liked that that it felt real, you know, and she did a great job, by the way. I don't know who that actress is. I don't know that I've seen her before.
I looked her up. She looked familiar to me, and then I realized that the way she talks, the way she carries herself in this movie, and I'm throwing a really weird, obscure reference out here. If you've ever seen the movie Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington,
sure, yeah,
the love interest in that movie that is also the cop that ends up dying.
Okay,
they have very similar deliveries of their lines and almost the same cadence to their voice and everything. Definitely not her. So
right, no, she was kind of dry, but that was her character. It's like she was, you know, the smartest person in the room. She's the attorney, right? Like she's the one who's got the education, and so she's approaching things analytically. And I thought she did a really, really good job pulling that off. Also, I just want to throw this out there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is the most underrated actor of this generation, I thought did a great job.
Fantastic job.
I thought he did an awesome job.
I've always liked him.
Right?
Since Third Rock from the Sun.
Hell yes. So he had really, really good back and forth, good chemistry with Axel and with He was the curly haired cop,
The boyfriend cop.
the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
So I thought he did a great job. He pulled it out. He, saved the team a couple of times. I thought he certainly held his own. I
Yes,
liked the
he
rhythm of the
had
movie.
fun.
I thought the music was great. I thought the dialogue was really, really good. But I do feel like that first scene with the street sweeper chasing the go-karts or whatever the hell they were that those guys were driving, I thought that was kind of silly. That's my 2 cents.
I kind of thought the first scene was like to let the audience know you're watching a Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Yeah, I mean it was such
It's like they all open with, Axel on a job and goes
Right.
crazy and he has to commandeer a crazy vehicle.
It was such a rehash of the first movie with the semi truck, right? That's the neutron dance and everything, and it was like, it was a revisit to that, and I think that's why they put it in, is because they made the movie and then they realized they needed like an action scene at the beginning, and then they went back and shot that scene. I just felt like it didn't fit with the rest of the movie, but other than that, great flick. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Would recommend it to anybody who's a fan of the franchise.
Also, just another side note: Ronnie Cox is a folk musician now. He was
Oh wow!
He was inducted into the New Mexico Music Hall of Fame in 2019, and was in the studio as recently as 2021.
What does he play?
It's folk music.
My question still stands.
Like what instrument?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
The guitar, maybe? I didn't get that deep, man.
Folk music has instruments in it. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know if you heard me say folk music, bro. Because the mics keep cutting
It's
out.
like guitar and things.
Cool. I'm gonna have to look him up on YouTube.
Look
Good
up
for him.
Ronnie Cox live at the kitchen sink.
I will. You think I won't? I will. I will look it up.
He
All right,
turns
so-
You better finish up so I can watch that shit.
now, if you want more information, he turns down 90% of the acting jobs he's offered to play over 100 shows at festivals and theaters each year.
Dude, that's rad.
How old is this guy?
85.
85, yeah. That good for him. That's awesome. He knows what he loves.
Yep.
Right? He's earned it. Bogomil has earned his retirement. All right, let's go to the Dune Prophecy trailer. For anybody who hasn't watched it, you might want to check it out first before we get into it. But let's do a quick around the table here on the Dune Prophecy trailer. Just first thoughts and things you might have to say about the series. Bueller, how about we start with you, man? What do you think?
We already brought him up, Mark Strong. That's all I really need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out. That's it for me, dude. I'll
That's
watch
it.
see his performance. You guys know how I felt about the second part of Dune. I went to see I saw the first part of Dune because it was COVID and it was all hyped up. Second part of Dune didn't really keep my attention, but I'm willing to check this one out, especially because Mark Strong's in it.
Fair enough. All right. So my take on it, I really enjoyed both of the movies. I thought that the aesthetic that Villeneuve, am I pronouncing his name right? Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve. Is that right? The director. Sure. I thought the aesthetic that he created for the two Dune movies was really, really good. It was a great representation of the novels. And I really like how in the movies that Bene Gesserit played a really important role, certainly more so than in the 80s remake or in any of the sci-fi stuff that's come out. Like the Bene Gesserit really had an important status in the universe, and so I think this is great. And also Emily Watson, the lead actress who is playing, I'm not sure, the Queen of the Bene Gesserit or whatever she is. She's fantastic. Oh. She was in Chernobyl, which is like the second best TV production ever created next to Game of Thrones, in my opinion. She played the scientist. She did an awesome job. She was also in Equilibrium. Played the love interest of Christian Bale. Fantastic actress. I'm really excited to see what she does. But more than anything, I think that this could be a great like intrigue, similar to Game of Thrones, like an intrigue, suspensey, drama-y kind of thing, with a lot of really fascinating characters. Like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing Mark Strong, what he can do. But there's a lot of unexplored lore that's kind of laced through the novels that really hasn't been touched on in the movies, and so they've got a lot of room, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Eric, what is your take on it, sir?
Similar. Yeah, I'm interested in the world building and the exploration of the lore. It does look like it looks very much like a continuation or a prequel to the movies, which is a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
It would be dumb to kind of take it aesthetically in a different direction. And I also agree with Bueller, where Mark Strong. Yeah,
I've never seen him do a bad job.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ever.
You know,
like he's always been great. So
yeah, I see him, and then you see that role, and you're kind of like, okay,
mm-hmm.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I want to see what he's going to do with that. So I'm on board. I don't know much about the Dune, the Dune lore. I enjoyed both movies, and so sorry, I got a fan going. It's like drying out my eyes. I'm interested in.
I thought you were weeping with excitement at the thought
no,
of a Dune
drying
show.
out my eye a little bit.
I see.
I am interested in seeing it expand.
I thought you were just doing your Sean Penn impersonation. You're just like,
No.
Good.
No.
I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're excited. Alex, what do you have to say about the new Dune Prophecy?
I didn't even know this was a thing until last week when we decided to like watch this
trailer for
the show.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Dune? What? Okay. And I watched it. Obviously, it's only pretty much a teaser. It doesn't really give you a whole lot other than a few little sights into what it could be. But as far as prequel ideas go, I think they have a great one, and they can really expound on that. As a group and their power and their influence. Not really sure how powerful they are in this series. It kind of seems like they might be just starting to get a foothold in the world or something, but like I said, we'll see. And absolutely, like when anybody has mentioned, Mark Strong is one of those guys that it just has a presence, and everything
he just
does
delivers.
in a project, it's automatically a little better.
Yeah.
And like Jubal said, Emily Watson, she does the same thing. I don't see her in a whole lot of stuff, but everything I ever see her in, she is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of them together in one show, like knock on wood, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, they have a great idea, a great concept, and having the timeline so far removed from the movie means that they can do pretty much anything they want. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I actually don't know. I meant to look up who the showrunners are and what their experience is. So that's what I'm going to be looking at next. But yeah, like I said, as far as an idea and the people that are in it, yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more excited as far as, just a trailer for a show that had to come out. Yeah.
Right. 100%. Yeah. Gus, your take.
I'm really excited. Like, I really, really liked one. I like the whole Dune lore. I like the whole thing. I liked the last two movies. I thought were fantastic. Visually, they were stunning, super epic. Story was great. Epic. I mean, the story was great. Everything ran really, really well. And with this, like you mentioned, Jubal mentioned like the palace intrigue type of stuff, right? I like that. And then someone else mentioned like building the world of Dune, which I like. I like that too. Actually, like with the Game of Thrones reference to it, I think I like the world of Game of Thrones that they built a little bit more than all of the stories, right? Like that's just for me. Like I like that world a little bit better than the individual characters or like the plot twist and shit. I was like, whoa, this is cool. So I want to see how they develop the world of Dune, right? It's like, because I think it's like I think it's a 45,000-year-old thing, right?
It's old. It's
like,
depending on who you listen to. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, right? But like, and then what I'm super curious about is two real big things. Is one, there's going to be a lot of like super strong female characters because it's like it's a priestesshood, right?
Sure.
That's going to be super interesting to see how that plays out because there's been strong ass women throughout history that like totally like shape the world. So that's going to be interesting. But then I want to see how, like, I'm not exactly sure, but I want to see how they build the religion and the politics melded together.
Right.
That's what I'm really curious to see, because especially on the last Dune, like that we saw, like
Religion played a big part.
Yeah,
the story.
The religion played such a big part that like peasants got down to overthrow the empire.
Right.
Like they didn't even have pitchforks and shit. They had like sand. Like they didn't even go to where they had worms and castles made out of sand. They didn't even have fucking steel.
Right. Right.
So like
bone knives. Yeah, I think they've got a
knife, man, made out of those tooth.
Oh, did you make that knife? You were talking. What were you talking about making a knife?
It's still right here. It's coming.
All right.
Nah, I've been super busy. I know.
Maybe next week we'll see the knife that you made.
Wow. It's not that I'm ashamed. I'm just disappointed. I like it when you say
You got to have follow through, Gus. You got to have follow through, man.
Follow through, dude.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I think we've covered everything we intended to cover. Thanks for joining us, and tune in next week for the next episode of Cult Fiction. Thanks, everybody. Bye.